So today we're in Tavolo Park. It's a little bit warm today, but I say we, really I'm going to be shooting this selfie style because Tom was a casualty in the line of duty. He went down fighting to find you guys the best neighborhoods, but don't worry, I think we may have found one of the best ones, so it wasn't for nothing. This is honestly one of the most desirable areas for people who may be in the medical field, even pilots, and it's all at a very affordable price. This is Tavolo Park, and honestly, it's absolutely gorgeous. This is like the most green that I think I've seen in the entire Metroplex, at least at this time of year. And the houses, honestly, they don't come up short either. You're gonna wanna see every single one of these things because they are not just beautiful, but very cost effective. Let's go check out that first one. So we're gonna be starting off today taking you guys through an absolutely gorgeous house. I mean, this thing has a kitchen that is absolutely to die for. If you wanna have your friends over and them all ask if you pulled inspiration from like Better Homes and Gardens every time they come see your kitchen, you're gonna wanna check this out. First impressions are basically everything, and this builder really just blows you away because as soon as you walk into any of their houses, like this one specifically, the very first thing you're gonna see is this grand hallway. I'm talking arches, decorative ceilings. The ceiling's 12 feet tall with chandeliers hanging from it. It really is just like a sight to behold. It's almost storybook, and speaking of storybook, the master bedroom looks like something made for kings and queens, and you're definitely gonna wanna check it out. But immediately off to the entryway, we've got an at-home office. Now these are paramount for a lot of people, especially since 2020, COVID, the whole 9 yards. Work from home has been it's been a factor in a lot of people's lives, whether they wanted it or not. And it really sucks having to repurpose a bedroom to make it into an office because, I mean, really bedrooms are utilitarian. Plus, you're down a bedroom. Whereas this, you have a dedicated office space. They got it dolled up really nicely with bookshelves. I'm talking a decorative paneling on the wall. You got this nice big arched window here. It all looks amazing, and it's just a dedicated space for you to be kind of separate work from life, especially when you're working from home. Those can kind of blend together almost too easily. But you do have your coat closet here off to the right as soon as you walk in, as well as a linen closet right next to a powder room. So it's right next to your front door. If you have any last second emergencies getting home, you don't have to go very far once you get in. But as we head down this lovely hallway here off to our right, we've got something that I'm sure my dad would have absolutely loved, and that's a theater setup. Now, TV was huge growing up for me. Like, my dad was a Dallas Stars fan. Don't hate if you're not, but they're huge around here. Obviously, we're near Dallas. And anytime they were on, he was glued to the TV, having buddies over to watch the game with him. If you're a football fan, and if you're moving to Texas, you might as well be, stuff like this is invaluable. Or if you like R-rated movies and you don't want the kids peeking in, it's nice to be able to separate yourself. Or if the kids are watching CoComelon and you for the 15th time and you don't want to deal with that, you can separate them in that room. But just having an area dedicated to something like that is a really nice thing to have, especially whenever you've got a big family and a very diverse set of interests. Just past that in the hallway, we've actually got another linen closet tucked away right next to your laundry room. I'm really digging how much height that they put on the shelving up here. A lot of times it's just barely above the washer dryer. This way you get enough space that you could potentially put a little shelf on top of these and have a workstation as well. But across the hall from that, you've actually got where the kids are going to be staying, because if you've got laundry machines that big, you probably have kids that tear up clothes like nobody's business. You've got a full bath right here, and then at the end of the hallway, you've actually got Jimmy and Timmy tucked away way back here. Now, these are decent sized bedrooms. This is like an 11 by 10, just slightly larger than a standard sized bedroom. But for kids, actually, it might be like an 11 by 12. It's slightly larger than like a standard sized bedroom, but not by a lot. Just for reference here, so you can get a better feel for it. That is a full-size bed and then two pretty standard-sized nightstands. And then the closets. You guys always want to see the closets. I mean, I get it. Storage space is very important. So these have two different closets. This has got like that double door, just, hang up the school clothes kind of closet. And then the one across the hall actually has like a more square closet. Honestly, I kind of dig this one a little bit more because I didn't have a bunch of clothes as a kid, but I did have a lot of stuff that would have fit a lot better in a closet like this. So not bad, but probably nothing to write your friends at high school about. Man, actually today we had a very interesting happening. Tom might have broken his foot, which is why I am filming this selfie style, but I'll tell you guys that story here in a bit, because now we're into the living room area, and as soon as I turn around, you're going to be able to see it. It's just gorgeous. So you've got, you know, these lovely uppers with all the glass in them. They're backlit, the dark cabinetry with the light countertop. It all just looks phenomenal. Honestly, I think they did a great job with all of this. I'm a huge fan of this builder. And I know that some of you guys are thinking, like, all of the things that are going on in this neighborhood, all of the things it has to offer, all of these beautiful houses, how have I never heard of these things? Well, I'll tell you right now, a lot of people do their searching through Zillow. And if you've noticed, Zillow has been dropping a lot of listings lately. There's some stuff you can't even find that you know may be on the market. Well, guess what? That's what we're here for. We're your boots on the ground. We're able to find these things for you, and we make it a lot more accessible. We actually have a search for these kind of neighborhoods on our website. So if you're looking for stuff like this and you're having difficulty finding exactly what fits your needs, go ahead and check it out. We'll get you signed up with something custom, so that way you're only finding exactly what you're looking for. But as you can see, as I walk around here a little bit aimlessly, you've got stainless steel appliances. I love the way the quartz on this countertop looks. You got the microwave built in over the oven. Just looks beautiful. And I know some people, especially if you remember the 70s, wood grain cabinets, they weren't exactly the best look back then, but I think we do it a lot better now. Speaking of doing things a lot better now, there's actually a builder later in this video who kind of dropped the ball originally, but they are blowing me away with the product that they put on the ground now, and I can't wait to show you guys that, because it's brand new as well. But one thing I do like about this, they put this cabinet right over here. This is more like a serving counter, but honestly, knowing my affinity for caffeine, that would just be a coffee bar the whole way across. And then on the other side of the kitchen, you've got a lovely dining room setup. They got it with the bench over there on the window. So, you know, if the kids want to just doodle while mom and dad are sitting at the table, I don't know. I honestly don't know what you use these things for. They look lovely, and I would probably just read on them all day. But it's nice to have like that kind of flexibility. So anyway, speaking of flexibility, one thing that I think just looks amazing in a living room is a fireplace. It's Texas, it gets really hot here, so you don't really get a lot of chances to use a fireplace, if I'm being perfectly honest, but it looks amazing. Like having something like that tucked away in the corner of your living room, it's man, it's almost like wearing a watch. We have phones nowadays. Like, I don't need to know the time on my wrist at all times, but it's almost like a mark of being an adult, having a fireplace in your house. I don't know, maybe I'm upselling it too much, but speaking of upsell, man, this bedroom does not do that at all. It sells on the nose, because we got these huge, these are probably 8-foot tall windows in this bay over here, and they dolled it up really nicely with the curtains and everything. This is a really big, sorry, I know it's a little bit difficult to tell in the selfie view, but hopefully from the B-roll, y'all can tell this is a really deep bedroom. So it's probably maybe 12 feet across, but it goes back probably 17 feet. So it's really long, and this is a king-size bed back here. You got a little bit of space on either side of your nightstands there, so you're not cramped or anything. Tons of natural lighting coming in. This is honestly lovely, and especially the way they got the table set up here. I talk about reading on that little nook over there in the dining room. Honestly, I'd just be set up over here in the bistro set, you know, letting the sun do the lighting for me. But speaking of sun, there's a ton of it coming into this bathroom, because I love the way they set up this vanity here. You got a his and hers vanity just tucked away on the left side as soon as you walk in, plus a little makeup nook here in the center. And the way that they did this plantation style shutter, it looks amazing right there. But on top of that, it's also letting in a ton of natural lighting. So this place just really pops. Like everything in here, especially with all the light colored tile, it looks amazing. And you got a standing tub, frameless shower glass. All of it is just like, these are just added touches. Honestly, they throw a lot of extra things in here that aren't necessities, but man, a house this nice, like once you deal with this kind of stuff, you never want to go down from the standard that you set. Plus, speaking of closet space, you got a decent sized master closet as well. But let's go check out that backyard real quick before I showed you the builder that may have unscrewed their screw up. All right, walking onto the back patio now. Like I said before, Texas gets pretty hot. I don't think you'll be able to use that fireplace as much as I'm sure you would like. And you could probably tell by like my sheen that I got going on here. It's a little toasty today. It's probably about 90 degrees. Not a cloud in the sky, so we're getting the full brunt of it. But it's nice to have something like this, because right now I'm not burning up. I'm sitting in a nice covered patio. This thing's probably about, I don't know, 17, 18 feet across, maybe a little less. But they got a full sitting setup here, so you could have friends over, hang out outside. They got a little fan and lighting set up, so even after it gets dark, you're not going to be left to the elements too badly. And plus the yard size honestly is really good. So these are 50-foot lots, and that means they're 50 feet wide. If you don't know how real estate lots are measured, basically they measure the width of it from the front of the house, and that's a 50-foot wide lot, and it goes back maybe 120 feet. So after the house, you've got probably, you can see behind me right here, maybe about 40 feet worth of yard back there. You're not exactly hurting for green space. Plenty of room to put up like a trampoline, a small pool, maybe a slip and slide or something for the kids. So you got a little bit of flexibility with something like this. But if you're looking for fun, you're definitely going to want to check out this next floor plan, because I don't think I've ever described a floor plan as fun before. I'd have to say one of the biggest marks of maturity is somebody realizing that they messed up and being willing and able to change for the better. And that's why I want to show you guys this next model home, because this builder, very well-known builder, they make a great house, but they really just missed the mark with the last model home, their old model home. But they went and redid everything, and it's a brand new floor plan that it's a variation of a very popular floor plan they've had in other neighborhoods that I'm really excited to show you guys. And speaking of change and development, there's actually a ton of that coming to this area that I'm really excited to tell you guys about. But let's go check out this house first. Walking into this model, I was very quickly sold. It is fast becoming one of my favorites, because it is really just a very fun floor plan, especially in the backyard, because if you're an outdoorsy person, you got to check out what they did back there. As soon as you come in, one of the things that I thought was really interesting about this floor plan, you got obviously like a guest suite right next to what it's called a 3/4 bath, because it doesn't have a bathtub. These guys have been more fond of their frameless shower glass, so their half bath has a shower in it, but no bathtub. Now, the cool thing, the reason this is cool up here is because generational living is becoming more and more pertinent for people. It's becoming more difficult for kids to move out of the nest. Things are more expensive. Getting a house isn't exactly, in everyone's budget nowadays. So being able to hang around with mom and dad a little bit longer, or whenever mom and dad get a little older, having a place for them to stay is becoming almost a must for a lot of people. And on top of that, some of y'all just like living with your family. No shame in that. So having a nice little setup for them whenever they come to visit for Thanksgiving, Christmas, or maybe just because, y'all are moving back in, it could honestly be the make or break for a lot of people whenever it comes to buying a certain floor plan. Another one is that work from home that we talked about a little bit earlier, because these guys have put in a flex space right next to it. So this is big enough it could be shared, but right now they kind of have it set up as like a craft space / sitting area. But if you wanted to make it like a multi-person office, or a setup for people in their hobbies, you've got tons of space to do it here. You could easily enclose this wall, and I'm fairly certain they offer the option to put in a door if you wanted like an actual enclosed office. But on top of that, whenever you got multiple families living in a house, multiple generations, or even just a bunch of kids, you're gonna want a really nice laundry room set up. So check this out, because as soon as we walk in, this isn't your normal laundry room. You've got like a laundry suite. So you've obviously got your washer dryer, and you can tell that's a little bit further away than most of the laundry rooms that you've seen selfie style. You've also got a little workstation right over here, and they left this open right here, so you can actually put like maybe a dog bed or something. If that's where you want to keep a litter box for the cats, you got plenty of room for, storage if nothing else. Utility stuff is right over here, so you got like your electrical panel, and then you've got these really nice built-ins. So you get like 2 cabinets that are built into the wall over here, as well as a countertop here. So this is more working space, or like what they did right here. You got your dog food and treats, or this could be where you keep your detergent, so you don't have to worry about opening and closing things all the time. It makes it look nice and neat and presentable for whenever people come over. And you're gonna ask, Jack, why would people be over in my laundry room? And that's because this is actually where your garage door is gonna be as well. So right now it's a sales office, there's not actually a door there, but right here is where your garage door is going to be. So you're going to come in here, and the very first thing you're going to be on is a hard surface, something very easy to clean and tucked away, so that way it's not dragging mud and mess and everything else that kids do after soccer practice into your house, because you got your mud bench right here as well. Everything's nice, tucked away in a very maintainable space. And this builder actually has a lot of floor plans where this connects to the master closet, which I know is phenomenal, to be able to just take your clothes from your laundry machines, you fold them, get them ready to go here in this laundry suite, and then you just, usually there's like a door right here about where this utility stuff is, and then it goes straight into the closet. Makes your day that much easier. And whenever you're dealing with hectic life of, America in 2025, the small things you can do add up. But anyway, continuing on, you got your little Harry Potter closet here, and you can see it kind of wraps around there, and that's because this is actually a 2-story floor plan. So you got a couple of bedrooms downstairs and a couple upstairs. So you got some options if you got kids that you may want to keep away from everything else, you know, them and their mess and their toys. But here off to the left, you've actually got a dining room set up next to this beautiful decorative banister and everything they got here. And this is a pretty decent size dining room setup because you got a full 6, you could probably even fit an 8-person sitting arrangement here. They got a little runner table over there, like a sofa table up against the wall for decoration or food prep and storage for whenever you're serving. But really, you got a lot of creativity when you have that much square footage. And speaking of all the food, you're gonna be making it in this beautiful kitchen right here. So you got the tumbler style cabinets, the stainless steel appliances built in here. I swear, like every time I see this, I think pizza oven. It's a microwave, but I get so excited because I was like, oh my God, there's a pizza oven in here because I like pizza. But you know, the mature side of me is like, Jack, why the hell would they put in just a pizza oven? How many people eat that much pizza? Anyway, so you got stainless steel appliances, built-in gas, you know, cooktop and everything. It looks really nice and neat. Everything's like cafe, which actually I forget which. That might be Whirlpool. I don't know what brand it is, but it's an upper scale appliances. And they look great because they went with the dark cabinets or the dark countertop and the light cabinets here. And then you've actually got the wood grain island, so you got like a 2-tone thing going on. But really, all these small little things add that pop of life and color to your living room. And you're gonna notice there's a ton of natural lighting in here. That's because there's these giant windows in front of me that look into the backyard. I don't wanna spoil it just yet, but we're gonna take a look at those as well. But as I walk through the living room here, you guys can kind of get a look at what's behind me. I do wanna talk a little bit about what's happening here in this neighborhood because there is a ton of development going on just outside. This is actually your, ooh, you almost caught a peek of it there. This is actually your last chance to get into this neighborhood because they're in phase 5 of 5 and they're not gonna be building anymore here, but they are gonna be developing a lot of storefronts in the area. So this neighborhood has a ton of living opportunities. You've got obviously houses like the ones we're in. You've also got townhomes and you've got apartments if you're not ready to put your name on a mortgage just yet. And that provides a lot of flexibility because you still get access to all of the amenities and everything in this neighborhood if you're in any one of those housing options. So just on the other side of the apartments at the front of the neighborhood is going to be a huge like commercial development. I'm talking, there's going to be a JB's, which is like a cheaper version of Costco. You're also going to have like an EOS Fitness. They're going to be putting in like this big park and all these other things. Like they're putting in a ton of stuff up here and all of the residents are going to have easy access to it. Like I was literally walking around the neighborhood to all of these areas. You can walk there from basically anywhere without breaking too much of a sweat. I know it's 90 degrees outside. Don't judge how sweaty I am. That's just me. I'm a sweaty guy. Anyway, so we're here in the bedroom and this one, again, also really nice, long. This is a king size bed and you can see there's tons of space on either side of it. Big windows, transom windows up top. They got a nice little chandelier set up and a sitting arrangement over here. No bay window here, but you got so much room in the bedroom itself. That's not really an issue. And you can see there's a ton of natural lighting coming in. That's kind of probably blowing out the camera, making my face look all dark. But on the other side of the bedroom, you've actually got the bathroom. So water closet here off to the left, linen closet here off to the right, and then you got this beautiful double vanity setup. Now I love the way they do this because the vanity spreads across the whole thing. There's not like a break in the granite or the quartz or anything like that, but they did put in these framed mirrors. Now framed mirrors doesn't seem like a lot, but it's something really small that you can do that just kind of like adds that extra flair and grandiose to your bathroom setup, especially whenever you've got one as pretty as this. Don't go with builder grade mirrors, add something cool like this, and these guys did it. They make their bathrooms look amazing. And another thing that I think is a staple of their bathrooms is their mega showers. I don't know if that's actually what it's called, but they do these really big long showers and they're smart about it because knowing some of you guys, you're already like, I see an issue here, Jack. What about when I go to turn on the water? I have to get underneath that shower head and get drenched in cold water until the hot water comes out. Don't worry, those aren't handles, those are jets because your hardware is right here, out of reach of the water. So you can turn on your shower right here, perfectly dry. You don't have to worry about getting wet until the water's ready for you. These guys are genius thinking of that stuff because there's way too many builders that don't. Speaking of builders that don't do things, the closet space here is, well, better than most. You get a decent sized closet plus built-ins on either side of the, you know, of the entryway here. But I think it's interesting because these guys don't ever put doors on their closets, which I don't know if that's a staple that you want to be remembered for. Cool, but a lot of people like having doors on there. So let me know what you guys think, because that's really an opinion piece. Do you like your doors on your closets or not? Well, that's only half of the house anyway, so let's go check out upstairs, because I feel like this is where the kids are going to be, and they get a say in things too, don't they? They pay the bills. Even if they don't pay the bills, you know, your kid's gonna complain about it the whole time you're living there if something sucks. You'll hear about it, I promise. But anyway, as soon as we come up the stairs, they got a little switch back here. You actually find yourself in this nice little loft area up here. Whew. Man, I need to do more cardio. You would think for how in shape I am that stairs wouldn't wear me out like that, but my God, every time, heart rate just through the roof. Anyway, you got probably like a 21 by 18 room here. It's a decent sized room. A couple of windows on the far wall here. Plenty of room for the kids to make their mess, have their little craft area over here, play whatever the heck they're playing on the TV without hopefully bugging you downstairs, because God knows kids' television is just, it grates on you after you've watched it 20 times. Ask me how I know. I have 4 younger brothers. Anyway, now one thing you'll notice is there's carpet up here, and a lot of people will be like, ew, carpet, whatever. I'll tell you right now, you're going to want carpet on your second floor, because, you know, the pitter patter of little feet is cute for the first couple of years, but whenever you hear it above your bedroom every day for years on end, especially on hardwood floors, you're going to regret not getting carpet upstairs. They don't have the light turned on in here, but you do have a full bathroom upstairs. Single vanity, so kids might have to elbow each other out of the way for toothpaste in the morning just to get ready for school. And then, much like the last house, you've got Sarah and Patricia's bedroom over here, whatever your kids' names are. And these are actually much larger than the other ones. Hold on, I do want to take you in one of these, because the last one, while it was a nice big house, the secondary bedrooms were a little lacking, I'll admit. This one's probably a 14 by 11 or 12. It's a little bit bigger than most bedrooms, and definitely bigger than most secondary bedrooms. And your closet space is actually pretty decent too. Look at that. Man, I was always jealous of my sister. She was the only girl in a house of 4 other boy kids. And so she got basically the best of everything. The biggest room, the biggest closet, etc., which I think is weird. I was sharing a bedroom with a kid. You would think you would give the bigger closet to the one that has to split it with somebody. Whatever. Anyway, this actually is a slightly larger closet as well, but the bedroom's about the same size. So anyway, personal rants aside, let's go check out the backyard real quick. All right, we're back outside, and this is the thing that I really wanted to show you guys, because as we walk out onto this porch, you're going to see it goes back pretty far. You got a sliding glass door over here. This is what's letting all that natural lighting into the living room back there, which is a really cool feature. A lot of people have been adding it to their builds as far as builders go, but one thing they have not been adding is a wraparound porch. Now they're taking it back to like the 1800s with this design pattern here, like a plantation style house. It just goes all the way around, but they did it up really nice with this pergola setup. So they got like a sun net on it and everything. It's got this nice diffused lighting on it. Honestly, this is a lovely setup. Like I said, it's like 90 something degrees outside, but there's like a light breeze, and with just that small amount of shade, like it goes from like unbearable to like balmy. Like, this is pleasant. They did it up nicely with this flower bed setup all the way around that half wall there. Honestly, a beautiful backyard setup. But I haven't even talked about prices, you guys. I know you heard in the intro, you can get in here for under $500,000, which is true. You can actually get into this neighborhood. A lot of the base prices are going to be around the mid to upper 400,000s. You've got 5 or 6 floor plans that'll net you that, and you didn't hear it from me, but there may be more in the future. Some of these builders might be cutting prices, but you got to call us, find out. We got the inside scoop on all that. Yeah, so it starts in like the mid 400,000s, and some of them go up to like the low 600,000s. It really just depends on how much money you want to throw at your house, because those are all base prices. Now, I will say, set aside about 30 grand of financing or cash or whatever for upgrades, because a lot of the stuff you're going to see in here isn't base pricing stuff. You've probably seen some stuff, and if you've got a keen eye or you've been watching the channel enough, you'll be like, Jack, some of those are upgraded countertops, some of those are upgraded this, that, and the third. Yeah, you're right, it is. They'll put some real money into these model homes, which, you know, if you need an expert opinion on like the things that are going to make the most bang for your buck whenever you go to upgrade a house, give us a call. We'll help you out. But those are just some of the things you need to think about, because maybe you don't want tile throughout your whole house. Maybe you want hardwood floors. That's going to be 10 to 12 grand depending on the size of the house. Little things like that. But if you want to see a builder that does really good quality without a bunch of extra add-ons, you're going to want to check out this next house. The next builder we're going to basically is the definition of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They make a phenomenal house, really good build quality, because you know I've got like little things I do to check the quality on the construction in houses. I like to call them the banister tests. You ever go upstairs and you got like a shaky banister or handrail or something like that? These guys, everything is rock solid. They're the only ones that didn't have to change up their model home whenever the other two builders did. Not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, just saying it's tried and true, and there's probably a reason for that. So let's go check it out. Now, this house at about 3,500 square feet is a 5-bedroom. They actually added a bedroom as an option, but hey, if you've got that much square footage, you probably got a decent sized family. So you're gonna need a lot of space, not just in the house itself, but in where you guys hang out. And as we walk through the house here, you can kind of see it, like the living and common areas here with the kitchen and everything, pretty freaking big. So you're not going to be hurting for space at all, and it's nice and open. So what I like to call this is like a hosting style floor plan. Everything's one big room. It's big, airy, like nothing feels cramped or secluded in the common areas here. Your kitchen's open and available, so that way you can get to the things you need to whenever you're prepping for Thanksgiving, game day, or just like, you know, Sunday after church, whatever have you. But one thing I will note is as soon as you actually walk into the common areas here, you got this nice little coffee bar setup. Now this could just be decorative. A lot of people will put like, you know, jars filled with pasta or whatever as decor over there, but it could also be like a coffee bar, extra storage for serving, things like that. These guys set up their coffee bar over here, but you do get a ton of counter space here. So one thing I do like about this kitchen, everything's nice, bright. It's all some variation of white, but there's different textures and which adds like a sense of depth and everything to the kitchen, even though it keeps it one tone. So your quartz or your granite has like a texturing going through it that's like a light color. It's subtle, but it does add some flair to it. You've also got the cabinets that are a different color and texture, or different texture but same color. The only thing that really stands out are going to be your appliances, which you kind of want to stand out. And then you got your backsplash. Now this is where that pop of color comes from. It adds like an accent to it, but it's not overwhelming. So it flows very nicely, and I think they did a great job with the decor here, because as soon as we kind of pan around, you're going to notice that green and a lot of other things too, but like again, it's subtle. You wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't pointed it out to you. There. That's some solid interior design work right there. Anyway, this is your dining area right here. So you got this nice big window back here, again with that little seat on it. This is a 6-person dining set, but this area is so big, you could fit like an 8, 10, 12 person table. Like you could be like King Arthur, Knights of the Round Table set up over here. Still have tons of room to move around, and you can kind of see what I mean when I say it's like a hosting floor plan, because I'm just kind of wandering about, like nothing's in the way. It's very easy to navigate the common areas here, and you can kind of get an idea of everything that's going on behind me. I know you guys saw a hallway. I mean, this is your master bedroom. We'll get to that as well, because that's also huge. There's also a bedroom back here, and talking about generational living, this one's definitely got the best setup of the three. But those high ceilings you saw whenever we came in, that's nothing, because, oops, I tilted the wrong way. Look at that crap. You got these giant decorative beams going across your ceiling, and it's vaulted. Like, I'm serious, it's at least 20 feet over there. And the living room setup, very simple, very elegant. You got a little bit of decorative cabinetry over here. This could hide your entertainment center, sound system, things like that. And then you could put decor and whatnot on top of it, right next to your fireplace. I love the way they did the trim and everything around it. So it's, again, it's a very simple look. They took some very elemental pieces and put them together in a way that just makes it stand out. But before we get to the rest of the house, I do want to show you guys that generational living suite, because it's a little bit, you know, it's something else. Hold on. So as we come in here, I do want to point out, you got your laundry room set up. This one's really nice because you've got, this is where your garage would be. That's a sales office right now, or the builder's office, but you got full washer dryer set up, storage up, trying to point, here we go, storage overhead right here, a wet sink, which, ladies, I did find out that's for delicates. You know, you watched some of my earlier videos, I have no idea what those are for, but I figured it out. Hard hats here, that's actually your mud bench right there, so you'll probably have the kids' jackets and things there. But tucked right around the corner from that, you've actually got a very good sized secondary bedroom. So as we walk in here, this is probably a 14 by 11 or 12, man, probably 14 by 12, 15 by 12. It's a really deep room for a secondary bedroom. Now, this isn't ensuite or anything like that. You've got, let's see here, got an okay sized closet. It's a little bit bigger than a standard because it kind of wraps around in here. But the reason I call this a generational suite is because it's tucked away from the rest of the bedrooms. It's downstairs, which can be really easy access for parents if they are getting older and they decide to move back in with you. And you've got a full bathroom set up right next door. So tucked away from all of that noise and everything else. It's not just a 3/4 bath either. You actually get a full bathtub. So if mom and dad decide to move in and they're old school, they like to bathe instead of shower, make a person stew, they got the option. But we've also got a really interesting setup upstairs because, like I said, these guys thought of everything, even the kids. And if you got a kid that doesn't like to do their homework, this may change their mind. But for right now, let's check out this master bedroom because I've kind of talked it up enough, but this thing is huge. So you've got these four huge windows that just go all the way across the room. Like, this is easily a 20-foot deep room. That's a king-size bed right there. Kind of give you an idea of like how wide everything's gonna be. Sorry, I'm not the best at selfie style shooting. You can blame Tom for dropping a washing machine on his foot. But yeah, so you've got plenty of room in here, vaulted ceilings. It feels nice and open. Honestly, like, I don't know what you do with this much room. Like, there's always a dresser over there. If you've watched enough of our videos, builders will always put a dresser across from the bed. They've got a little shoe bench right here and everything, and then there's just like all this space right here. I don't know what you do with this. If you guys have any creative solutions that are YouTube appropriate, don't be putting any dirty stuff in the comments, but let me know what you would use that space for there. Speaking of space, you get a ton of it here in this bathroom. So as soon as we walk in, you can kind of see there's a single vanity here. This is like his or hers. You got plenty of space on either side for your toiletries and things like that. And then you've got a second one right across here, across the way. You can kind of, oh man, we got like one of those optical illusions going on with the mirrors here. But you got a second one right across the bathroom right here. So I love the double vanities, and not just double vanities, the two separate vanities, because then when my girl puts her stuff on mine, I have an excuse to like put it back on hers instead of a double vanity where it just slowly migrates, kind of like, a shoreline that's slowly being eroded away, except it's my sink space. That won't happen with this. It's a really nice setup, and they did a good job with the decorative tile and everything. Tucked away right over here is the water closet. This right here is your linen closet. So just as soon as you walk in, you also got a shower enclosure with a bench over there. I like the little penny tiles they did. And then you got a built-in tub right here. Now this house does have the largest closet of the three that we saw today. It's a little bit different orientation. It's got kind of like an L bend in it. These guys, you'll have to excuse the bricks. These guys are using it as like the storage for their options and selections. But it kind of wraps around this way. You've got like your cables and stuff over in this corner, and then you've actually got, and you can see I'm like sticking my arm all the way out, there's plenty of room in here. And then it goes around this way. You got some built-ins actually tucked in here behind the wall, so if you're a shoe nut, that might be the way to go. I know my buddy Nigel, he'd fill that thing up in a heartbeat. He's got so many like Air Jordans and Air Force Ones and all these other crazy shoe names that I don't know. He's a big Nike head. Anyway. But let's go upstairs because I always talk about the banister test, and like I'm serious. Like, these guys, build quality is, it feels like their specialty. Like, that does not move. Like, I'm about 210 pounds of fairly strong dude, and that thing is not moving at all. You would think like, yeah, no, duh. Like, why would it? It's made of wood. But there are so many houses I walk into that just miss the mark, and it's like they may look pretty on the exterior, but as soon as you actually get your hands on anything, you're like, oh, that's where they save money. Not these guys. And I do appreciate that about them, honestly. But as soon as we come up here, you've got a nice loft area. It overlooks the downstairs, so you've got, sorry, like I said, stairs, have to catch my breath. So you've got two decent sized couches here, a little sitting setup here, so you can kind of get an idea of what's like the size of the room itself. This is a decent, I don't know, maybe 18 by 20 up here, maybe a little bit less. But with the windows over there, it makes it feel a lot bigger, especially with this open half banister here. Now this looks over into the living room. I'm certain some of you guys would probably, let me see here. If you've got loud and rowdy kids, this may not be the best setup for you, but if you do like that aesthetic, honestly, I'm a big fan of the banister. I think it just adds an elegance to things like this, because a half wall is simple. Like, what are you really gonna do to spice something like that up but a banister? So that's my preferred way to go. But the bedrooms in here are actually a really good size. So that generational suite downstairs is slightly larger, but you still get really good sized rooms. These are probably 14 by 14, nice big square rooms. You got attic access in this one. This one's actually an add-on. Typically this would be a 4-bedroom for this floor plan, but they threw it in here because a lot of people need more bedroom space. Oh, closets. I want to make sure you guys get to see the size of the closets. These are decent, slightly deeper than the other ones we were looking at. And one of these bedrooms actually got something the other ones didn't. So I guess that's the one that you give to your favorite kid. But as we go across the hall here, because they're kind of split up. So one of them is here on this side of the hallway as you go across your loft space. And then the other one, the other two, are tucked away over here. Now, this little alcove here, you kind of have to like step down to get into it. So it almost feels like a completely separate space. I don't even know if I can get that on camera. There you go. You can kind of see the stairs there. But it almost feels like its own separate space, and that's kind of cool. I mean, if nothing else, it's going to help a lot with the noise. You know, kids making all kinds of noise and whatnot while you're trying to listen to something or downstairs. Or even better, if there's noise going on that sounds interesting and you want that one kid that won't pay attention to their homework to do their homework, you set them up right here, because this alcove also stops noise from coming in. And they've got a little homework nook here. So you could set up like their, what are they using now? They're not using they're not using Windows anymore. They're using the Google one, Google Notebooks or whatever they're called. He's got his little notebook set up over here, plugging away at schoolwork. And then there's something interesting happening downstairs, and his little ADHD butt would be like, oh, I want to know what that is. But now he can't hear it, and he has to focus. Anyway, story of my life. You also got a full bath set up right here. I really like the decorative tile and everything they did on the floor. Again, there's that green. Yeah, they just did it through the whole house, and you probably wouldn't even notice if you weren't paying attention. But you got 2 decent-sized bedrooms up here. So this one is the one that my sister would have gotten, because she got all the cool stuff growing up. Nice big room. Again, it's like that 14 by 14. And then you got an actual, you're going to see yourself in the mirror here. Got an actual, sorry, camera work's not great. Full-size bathroom set up here. So this one's actually got an ensuite bathroom. And a decent sized closet as well. We'll take a peek at that. So again, yep, good sized closet, double door, kind of same as the last one. And then you got just a plain Jane bedroom over here, but the storage doesn't stop there. Like this one actually, maybe this one's a little better. It may not come with a bathroom, but you get a slightly larger room and these really big windows. So if you like all that natural lighting, this might be the way to go. Plus, I think the closet might be slightly bigger on that one. But either way, you're not going to be hurting for storage, because right across this little alcove, they give you every bit of square footage that they can, because here, tucked away, you've got a storage closet. So you got some built-ins right here. This is going to be your attic access for easily changing the filter, things like that. You can keep it locked so the kids don't come in and mess with it. And then you got another built-in over here, but this kind of wraps around. This is the easy way to get to, like, you know, if you needed to store school supplies or the Christmas tree after, well, Christmas. So really just giving you that kind of flexibility. Oh, and you got a little linen closet right here off of your loft space as well. Giving you that kind of flexibility is what I feel like sets the builders apart, that like one that's building a house versus one that's actually lived in a house and knows what people need. And people need storage. My God, do I run out of storage all of the time. But let's check out the backyard real quick, because they got a really nice covered patio set up as well. Now, a lot of builders, they've been putting in sliding glass back doors, and there's 2 main styles. You saw the accordion style earlier. That one, you take the door and you slide it all the way to the side. So if you're a symmetry freak and you don't like, you know, things not being symmetrical, then you're going to want to get one of these where it opens in both directions. So on top of looking really nice, it gives you a good barrier from the elements outside while letting in all that natural lighting that we were enjoying earlier. It made me look really good in the video, and now I'm outside and I'm not looking so hot because, whew, it got warm very quickly. I am actually looking very hot right now, and not in a good way. Anyway, you get a nice covered patio set up over here, which is great because, I mean, it's nice to have all that interior square footage, but to be able to actually come outside and enjoy nature whenever it's not beating down on your head because you got this covered area with the lights built in. So even after dark, you can still, you know, come out, be one with nature, all that jazz. And the biggest thing with this builder is that they are the only ones still building on a 60-foot lot. So the other two, with this new phase, they're only going to be doing 50-foot lots. So this is going to be premium lot sizes. And if you want to get in with them, you're going to have to check them out, because this is the absolute last chance to get the premium lots in this neighborhood. Now, one of the biggest things about this neighborhood that I feel like is the biggest draw for people is the location. I'm going to take a seat here. It's a little warm. I've been walking around all day. So aside from the nice houses, what's the big draw to this neighborhood? I mean, yeah, obviously it's probably the greenest place in the DFW area. Honestly, you don't see this much green this late in the year, but on top of that, it's right next to the lake. So it's just across a small patch of land, and then you're right there at Benbrook Lake. They're actually developing trails just outside the neighborhood that take you from here to the lake. So you could literally walk there if you want. It's a stone's throw distance. On top of that, you're close to the highway, but you can't hear any road noise. Like, it's not that close. You could basically get out of the neighborhood, get on the highway in less than a couple of minutes, and then you're basically anywhere you need to be in the Metroplex. Literally less than 20 minutes from downtown. I drove here from my office downtown, and it was like 17 minutes. And that was with some decent traffic. I got stuck at some red lights. So phenomenal location there. You've also got a ton of people from the medical sector coming here. I'm talking like doctors, nurses, you know, healthcares and physicians, because we're right next to a big medical center. It's about 5-10 minutes away at most. So a lot of doctors have been moving here, actually, and oddly enough, pilots as well. We got JRB's just a short jaunt. You take 820, it's less than 15 minutes. That means people from Lockheed are also moving here. And not just that, because I will say this is probably the one hit against this neighborhood, the schools. So it's Fort Worth ISD, and before you click off the video, we have a solution. Don't worry, it's not that big of a problem. There's a ton of private school opportunities in this area, not just private school, also charter schools as well. So they're very well rated, very well funded, tons of great programs. There's also Montessori schools or Montessori schools. I don't know how you pronounce it. Somebody tell me I'm wrong in the comments with my pronunciation. But so if you don't want your kid to go to a public school, understandably, you've got a ton of options for it in this area, and more to come. This area is really just blowing up because there's a bunch of land that hasn't been developed, and little neighborhoods like this are kind of popping up. And oddly enough, it's such a desirable area, and the price here is so sought after that people from DFW as well, like pilots from DFW and Alliance, have started moving here, because it's maybe a 40-minute drive to the airport, so less than an hour. If you hit traffic, it might be a little bit more, but not by a crazy amount, and you really can't beat these prices. Now, I will say this builder does things a little bit differently. The other ones, so base prices will take you from like, with this builder, about 500 to the mid 600,000, and then sky's the limit. They've got a ton of options for their houses, and obviously you can just throw as much money at it as you want. They'll help you out. So just keep that in mind. But whenever you're looking at those price points for the houses that you're getting, honestly, this is a steal. Like, there's some of these places out in, you know, if you go towards the Alliance area where it gets really dense and it's a very desirable piece of land, or even Frisco, a house like this in Frisco, $1 million, easy, no contest. Here you're saving about like half of that price just by, you know, not being in Frisco. Not to say it's not a desirable area. There's a ton of development, not just in this neighborhood, but all around. So really, if you're looking for these little perfect pocket neighborhoods that a lot of people haven't heard of, we keep our ear to the ground. We get in front of as many builders and developers as we can to get this information for you guys. So go ahead, give us a call, because remember, whether you're looking to buy or sell, keep calm and call Tom.